Okay, dreamer please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm sorry for the late video because I've been busy with family stuff over the weekend, and I hope this video is not too late. Okay, so we have been given 2 L selectors via the carnival, and it's a really good event, so hopefully you get to it. And the first main advice I can give you before we proceed with the video is to prioritize on heroes that you do not have. Unless you have all the L already, then okay, choose a dupe. That is going to make the most difference in whatever content you are going to do. And also special thanks to 2 of my guildmates, Blade and Too Hot, for their advice for this video, because there are many things that sometimes I will overlook and I don't keep in mind as much. So yeah, with their help, I think this video is going to be a great one. So in this video, we're going to split our discussion into PvE and PvP because there's many L right now, unlike previous selectors. And the first obvious choice for PvE is Cosette. She is still and will be the best DPS, single target damage dealer, in the entire game, even till now in Korea server. Okay, so she is extremely long lasting. You cannot go wrong with picking Cosette if you do not have her yet. And I think damage wise, you definitely can't compare any other damage dealer to her. Maybe Ruri comes a close second, but Cosette is still going to be the most amazing, also thanks to her EE. So if you already have other heroes and you are thinking of getting a Cosette EE, definitely go for a dupe. Next up for PvE, if you have Cosette already, then you probably want a tank. And if you do not have any other tanks such as Rudy, okay, Rudy Plus is going to be a great tank for you in your PvE content. In PvP, I don't think he's used as much anymore, especially in the top tier. I think in lower tiers, he will still be pretty decent, okay, if he's built out really well. But he's still a very good hero for Guild War and tag match because you do need multiple teams, and Rudy Plus is going to be great in a tank team setup. He's also used in certain PvE scenario bosses. Variant rate for sure, you definitely want a Rudy Plus, especially in future moving forward when we have higher tiers, okay, T16. And he's also a great tank and support unit for 8-man raids. In future, he will get a really powerful remake, which I will cover in another video. We're not sure when that's gonna happen, so just keep that in mind, okay? And speaking of PvP, the best pick for PvP is Rin. Okay, Rin is definitely the most powerful hero among all the 10 heroes in the roster, and you want her for burst teams. Okay, so if you are not a burst team user, maybe this won't fare too well with your choices. You may want to go with other units such as Chris or Rudy. Okay, that's also possible, but overall speaking, okay, Rin is going to be a very long-lasting hero as well in the meta. She did get a remake in future, but we're not going to talk about that because it's still definitely too far for that. So she has been a game changer, okay, for PvP speed and burst teams. She's still very effective currently in the meta, especially with Teo, who just got released, and then we have Yuri as well. And if you pair them up with Karma or Dylan's or Fodina, Eileen, you're going to have a very strong damage team, and you can probably nuke down some weaker tank teams. The next best PvP unit is probably Yuri after Rin. If you have Rin, you could potentially be using a speed or burst team, and this is where Yuri comes as a very good companion, okay, a very good ally to Rin, because you can run the double ranger comp, and that is going to be very strong, especially with Teo and Karma together as well. And I think even though Yuri is free at 6 million CP, that is a very far amount. So for new and progressing players, Yuri is going to be one that is going to be a great pick, especially if you already have Rin and Teo, and then Karma as well. You can definitely throw in Yuri as well to complement that entire team. Okay, not only that, she does offer a very high codex attack buff because she is a ranged unit. In future, when Platin comes out, Yuri will see more use again because Platin does buff ranged heroes in PvP as well. So if you pick her now and build her till then, I'm pretty sure you will get a very strong speed burst comp in future. Next up, we need to talk about these 3 universal heroes. Now, it's definitely difficult at this point where these 3 are placed because they're quite niche, and I think only Chris is still seen being used more commonly than the other 2. So yes, Chris is a very long-lasting PvP hero because he relies on death. So that means he will form his own kind of teams, own kind of meta, okay, and also death is particularly good in lower tier PvP. But again, if you do already have Rin, you know, heroes like Rin, Karma, there is no real need for you to pick Chris at this point because Chris doesn't gel well with speed comps, okay? And he doesn't have any use in PvE, and he's also free at 3 million CP, which is pretty easily reachable right now in the game. Okay, so Chris, that's why I didn't place him too high up in the top 2, but I think he is definitely a close third, okay, third position in terms of PvP utility. Now for Ace, he is definitely not used in the top meta teams. So for Ace, I think he is not such a good pick, but in lower tiers, he's definitely still capable of dishing out very good damage, and he's still going to be very good if your opponents don't have a lot of Mirage accessories, which, you know, could be a very common thing in the lower tiers where people are still focusing on farming for revive and rage accessories. And in future, he will be used for labyrinths for very fast clears, okay, in the lower floors. But beyond that, there's no real big PvE use for him. And finally, we have Evan Plus, an amazing powerful PvE damage dealer, and I think she is definitely one of the next best PvE damage dealers that is self-sustaining compared to Adele, and definitely secondary to Cosette. But the thing about Evan is that since he is a secondary PvE damage dealer, if you already have Cosette, he is definitely not a must-have, because in terms of scenario bosses, for example, you won't be having Evan and Cosette together in the same team for sure. So Evan is kind of pretty much relegated to your dungeons, to your raids, where you may need heroes beyond Cosette. And also, I don't think he's going to get a very big return to the PvP meta because, you know, in future they are going to release a new Evan Plus, a new legendary Evan Plus. So yeah, definitely this Evan is probably just going to stay as a PvE damage dealer, and after his skill priority adjustment, he is actually more decent in terms of doing auto runs in your PvE. So yeah, that is kind of his use, okay, for the time being. The last 3 L plus heroes are not really used as much anymore. The first is Ming. She does have future utility, which we don't know when that's going to happen. Again, because she's a DPS, there's more codex buff, and basically that is all. There's just not enough usage to justify pushing her up into a higher priority. Okay, even though she definitely still can be used in PvP because her skill set is very unique to her in terms of out gauge controlling. The same can't be said for Velda. I think Velda is just the saddest hero, the saddest L plus in the game right now. He is not used at all, pales in comparison to Ace, and he's not used in any PvE content for sure, even though you can possibly use him in Gold Dungeon. I think Koreans do use him in Gold Dungeon, and that's pretty much the only thing good about him because he pulls the piranhas together. Okay, so yeah, definitely picking an L plus for Gold Dungeon is not something you want to do. Even with his EE, it's incredibly sad because no one is talking about it. He's not back at all, so unfortunately he's only for codex buff. Okay, the final hero that we need to talk about is Shane. While Shane is an amazing hero, I've stressed this over several videos, you don't pick her at all because she is free at 2 million CP, and that is so easy to reach right now in the game. I think within a week you probably, okay, or even lesser, you probably will get Shane. Okay, 2 million CP is just that reachable, especially with all the events going on now. Your CP is gonna scale up so fast. Okay, so don't pick her at all. So we come to the final summary. Okay, in terms of PvE, you have Cosette, Rudy Plus, and Evan Plus as the best choices for PvE. That's only if you are not able to clear your PvE side of things. Okay, then go for those heroes. But otherwise, I think picking PvP oriented heroes could be a great option. Okay, these 4 heroes are all good for PvP. Rin as the best, Yuri and Chris kind of like a close second and third. Okay, and Ace is just not as good for PvP, but still possible to be used in lower tiers. And the last 3, of course, as I mentioned, they exist, but yeah, just really don't pick them unless you don't have them. And for my case, I do not have Velda up to today, so I'm gonna go for Velda right here. Okay, and that will complete my L Plus collection except for J, of course. So yep, I hope this video helped, and if it did, do give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Big shout out to my channel members Jeremy, Chilling, Gonzalo, Jude, Nick, Fahas, Yamaki, Kevin, Harlan, Zon for the support. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much and see you!